Welcome. You're listening to Voice in the Dark. I Don't Know What We Brought Back from the Lake by ImANormalDude. It had all begun as a peaceful family outing at the lake. My wife, my son, and I were enjoying the pleasant weather. The three of us stood on the shoreline, watching the last few rays of the sun reflect off the water, a last hurrah before the looming winter. My son loved to swim, so I stood on the pier watching over him. My wife had run back to our car to charge her dying phone. I remember my son looking up at me and smiling. The next 15 seconds were a blur. What I recall was a splash. There was thrashing. There was screaming. I didn't react like a father should have. In the chaos, I slipped on the wet pier and crashed head first onto the wood. The last thing I saw before passing out was my son beneath the water. Something clung on to him. Its shape was shifting and contorting with the flow of the water. An outline of a face formed on the creature, just defined enough to smile at me. And the world went black. I awoke nearly an hour later in an ambulance. The EMT informed me that I had had a concussion. While I had lay unconscious, my wife had rushed to the lake and dove into the water to save our son. The EMT told me that my wife was a hero, our boy was alive, and that everything was going to be all right. But whatever my wife saved that day was not our son. There was something different about him. It's hard to describe in words, but something was missing in the child in front of me. No one else seemed to notice the change, not even my wife. He was always staring at me with blank eyes. Whenever he'd noticed that I was staring, he'd plaster a smile on his face. I knew that smile. I had seen it as it pulled my son beneath the lake. The boys feared water since the incident. It's taken some time, but over the last few months, I've pieced it together. This creature doesn't want to go back to where it came from. It's scared the water's going to wash it away. This morning, I decided I couldn't take it any longer. I woke my son up early and asked him to come with me to see a surprise. He looked up at me with a wicked smile. He didn't realize what was coming next. When we got to the lake, he started screaming. He fought against me, but I pulled him to the water. He screamed and cried. He fought and begged, but I dragged him forward. I took him out to that pier I stood on 3 months ago and forced him underwater. There was a splash. There was thrashing. And for him, the world went black. I've been sitting on the pier all morning, watching the body float. His lips are blue. He will not smile at me again.